I think the future about the China economy is still going to be very promising. Even for the latest quarter, the Q1 year 2014, the GDP figures is a little bit slower than the original expectation. But when you talk to a number of customers, most of them are saying one common theme, that is the shifting of center of gravity from the west to the east. So to many of the customers, we still see a lot of growth opportunity in China. And in particularly because of several trends. Say number one, because of the urbanization. So we see more and more people, they are moving from rural areas to the different tier of cities. So that represents a lot of growth opportunities. And the other thing is talking about the rise in terms of the middle class. They are more educated, they are wealthier. And then that also represents opportunities in terms of how the companies can capture all these increasing purchasing power. So all these are presenting a lot of opportunities that definitely the companies, they can reap the benefits about China. I think there are three key areas that the future China leaders we should focus on. Number one is talking about the change management, because the pace of change within China is very rapid in terms of the trend of urbanization, in terms of the development of the technology. So what we require on the leaders in China is they need to always embrace change, to have the open mind, to be the driver, to lead the change within the organization. So that's number one in terms of change management. And then number two is talking about the awareness, the connection with global. Because very often, China, we are not alone. Our development within China, definitely that will affect and being affected by the development in other countries. So how can we help our talent in China to have that global awareness, to understand what are some of the latest trends that are relevant and also can bring back to China? And at the same time, to understand what is the own strength of China, and then to bring that back to the Western world. So I think the second one is talking about the global awareness and then the ability to connect China with other parts of the world. And then number three is talking about the learning agility, because one of the biggest predictor about the success of a leader is whether the leader possesses learning agility. That is the ability to keep on learning, to improve. So in order to do that, I think we also need to help our leaders to constantly to spend time in the classroom, on the job, and even to attend different types of conference, in order to make sure that they understand what are some of the strengths, what are things that they don't understand, in order to help them, to equip them with better skills. Because earlier I talked about how to help the leaders in China to have that global awareness and to connect with the global. So I think in order to help the China talent here, the company, we also need to create the opportunities for them to connect with the other parts of the world. Say, for example, what our company, the Nielsen, we have done is we deliberately have this exchange program, which will have our talents to export to other parts of the developed market. And at the same time, we encourage the talent import to make sure that we have this talent exchange opportunity created on the ground in order to bring that global connection together. So that is one. And the other is we also need to make sure that organization, we do develop, we do consistently invest on talent, even though when the business is not going good. Because very often when the business, we cannot hit the target, very often what the company will do is to cut the budget. May it be to cut the A&P, the advertising and promotion budget. May it be cutting on the training budget. But then if we cut the training budget, perhaps this is the thing that we'll regret later on. Because talking about development of talent, it requires sustainable investment in terms of energy, in terms of time, in terms of money, in order to help them. So I think this is a very critical element for us to have that constant focus to develop our talent. So talking about the tools, there are a couple that I would like to share with you. I think number one is definitely the utilization of technology. Apart from classroom training, I think if we can use e-learning, online learning, that can also help to cascade, help to penetrate different types of new skills within the organization in a very flexible way. And so that is number one. And number two is talking about actually we invest people, we invest our time on our people. Because according to some research, in terms of the actual learnings that you can absorb from the classroom training is less than 10%. And majority of the learnings that you absorb is outside of the classroom. That also includes the day-to-day job, the interaction that you have with your peers and also with your leaders. And that's why when we talk about the investment on our people, say for example in Nielsen, we do have a mentoring system. And then when we create this mentoring system, we have put a lot of thoughts behind in terms of matchmaking. How can we make sure that we match the right mentor with the right talent? That we will take into consideration a number of factors in terms of the personality, in terms of the global awareness that we mentioned. Say for example, I got the luxury to have a mentor. He is located in US, and he is also now leading one of our most advanced technology. So through my day-to-day dialogue with him, I think this also creates the opportunity for me to better understand and connect China with the other parts of the world. In terms of the enablers, it's also talking about the actual job itself. Say for example, in our company, we deliberately, for every 2 to 3 years, we will give some new assignments to our high potential. Some of the new assignment is really a complete stretch of the individual outside of the comfort zone. We may throw them in different countries. We may throw them to a completely different function with the same objective. That is, we want them to connect with different parts of the world. We want them to make sure that they have a holistic understanding about the end-to-end process within the entire organization. So to conclude, I think in terms of the technology, in terms of the people, and also in terms of the assignment of the job, these are all key enablers that we should invest in order to develop our talents.